Good afternoon. My name is Peter Sherris, and for one more week, I have the honor to serve as the president of the Rotary Club of Oakland, the third oldest Rotary Club in the world. For over 110 years, we have funded and promoted philanthropic programs here in Oakland and around the world. We begin our meetings by reciting our vision, which is, together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Rotary connects us all. A second tradition of our club is our thought for the day, and our soon-to-be president-elect Dudley Thompson asked me to give it today. So, Dudley.
Thank you. Thank you, President Peter, our guests and fellow Rotarians. A couple of months ago, I was at a meeting with the Rotary Foundation. It was a district meeting, and Cliff Docterman, who is a previous chair of the Rotary Foundation, president of Rotary International, and one of our local members, he presently is a member of the Raga Rotary Club. His sister was at the meeting, and she shared a story, and I would like to share this story with you. Cliff used to tell it. There are so many aspects to the polio story. I recall one day I was chairman of the Rotary Foundation. We had a call from the World Health Organization saying that they had arranged for a 4-day ceasefire in the civil war in Sudan so we could go in and immunize the children. But the WHO did not have any money to purchase the vaccine. I said, how much does it take? It was going to cost $400,000. I said, you can have it immediately from the Rotary Foundation. The chairman can make a grant up to $500,000 for an emergency humanitarian effort. The war stopped. Health workers went in and immunized 3 or 4 million children. Then the war started again. The WHO said of all the places in the world, there was no place we could turn except Rotary to make that project happen. As I look back, we all joined Rotary for many reasons. This story is one of those that's made me a lifer and all in for Rotary. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much, Dudley. Today, we have the distinct pleasure of hosting Brenda Cressey, past chair and current board member of the Rotary Foundation. Therefore, the focus of today's meeting will be on the work we do internationally, much of it with the support of Rotary Foundation. And now I'd like to show a brief video I learned about from Brenda's Facebook page that gives an idea of the scope of Rotary's work. Thank you. For decades, the Rotary Club of Oakland has been known for its expertise and its active promotion of international service. Our World Community Service Committee, or WCS Committee, is named for Carl Stuckey, an amazing member of our club who died a few years ago. Among many other achievements, Carl founded international project fairs, wonderful events held in great venues that anyone can attend, and are the places our members learned about the projects that we're going to present today. I'd like to thank Renea Webb, who took on the big job of WCS chair and will do it again next year. And thanks too to all the members of WCS for identifying, raising money for, and managing the international projects you are all about to learn about. Karen Friedman, former WCS chair, please start us off.
Thank you, Peter, President Peter. Today I wanted to introduce some of my, well, 4 of my very favorite people, all of whom come from Medellin, Colombia. We met at the first annual project fair, Colombian project fair in 2016, and we've been really good friends ever since. But we've been more than friends. We've been partners on projects. We've been down there twice, and we were actually going to go back down for a humanitarian trip this past March, except for the virus, we weren't able to. But they've been amazing hosts to us, extremely generous, and we're really, really grateful to them for that. And then lastly, and maybe most importantly for our purposes, they are inspirational Rotarians, all 4 of them. Sonia Uribe is currently the Rotary International Zone Coordinator of Public Image. Now the zone, it's a huge job. The zone includes 11 countries and 14 districts. Alberto Londoño, her husband, is a past district governor. Aura Stella Cardona is an incoming president of her club in Medellin. And Maria Luisa Aguilar is a past president also of her club. So they're going to talk about the projects that we've partnered with them on, and I'm going to turn it over now to Sonia.
Good afternoon. It's a really pleasure to be here and to say hello. I am Sonia Uribe, PDG, from Colombia. Alberto Londoño, PDG, like Karen tell. Aura Estela is past president and president nominee from Rotary Club Medellin, Nutibara. And Maria Luisa Aguilar is past president from Nuevo Medellin. Here we are to tell you thank you. Many years ago, when you went to the first project fair to visit us in Cartagena, we began a little relationship. Later, Peter went to visit us in Medellin with a trip, and then several trips. At the next year, we have the opportunity to be in a street house in our way to the International Assembly. In that day, we have the opportunity to visit the Rotary Club meeting. Was great. And I want to say thank you for all of you because you are helping a lot us. For example, John Gresley and Woodrun always are in the International Convention helping us to make a better fair project. And we have the opportunity to have a Kimberly meeting also in Colombia. That was the beginning of a very nice relation trip. But the most important for us, when you're like a Rotary Club designed to make a very stressed relation with us, you begin to visit us in Medellin, and here are some pictures of the group. Thank you. We have a very nice moment, enjoy tourists and projects. We enjoyed a lot the company. I want to say thank you to Karen and to Michael Books because they was coordinating these special moments. We have the opportunity to have 2 different Rotary groups. This year from the pandemic, we stopped, but our dream is to have all the Rotarians from Oakland trip visit us and enjoy our city. You are making many things, but thank you for for example, this is a project moment when all of you went to the Rotary Foundation with the Monica Uribe for Love Foundation to visit more than 380 kids with the spina bifida. You share with them. That humanitarian trip for us is very important because all the time you are making tourists be making our relationship more close and also visit projects and help. For us, that moment are very important. Always all of you bring present for our kids. But the most important for our kids is the moment that you spend with them. Thank you, Rotarian from Oakland 3, because you are very special. For us, you are our international brother in Medellin and in Oakland. You always open your heart, your opportunity, and your kind of people with us.
For us, always it is a pleasure to share a week with Rotarians from Rotary Club Oakland 3. When they visit us, we have different space moments to enjoy. For example, here we are at our home cooking a paella. That is a very special moment. We have also a meeting with all the president from our states. We have approximately 25 people in that meeting. We have social work, visiting different activities from Rotary clubs. At the end of the week, when it is almost to departure, members who visit us always left some money for our programs. Rotary Club Nuevo Medellín and Medellín Ujiara. Right now, we are working with a global grant for bathroom. Is at the Rotary Foundation in this moment.
So we want to say thank you very much for Rotary Club number 3, because all of you are very special for us. But remember, our dream is every year have some of you in our city. Remember, our home is your home. Now we are going to give the opportunity to Maria Luisa to talk about one of the projects.
So hi everyone, I'm so glad that Peter invited me and Karen also invited me. So this is a short presentation of what we've been doing with the iCheck program. Some of you have the chance to be there, and you can recognize some faces over there. You can see Stephen face, and I think Bob is also there. So many faces. And thank you so much for your contribution towards our new equipment. We really appreciate this contribution you have made to us. This will obviously encourage us to do more eye checks, to provide these health vision programs to all our community. Up to now, we have given more than 4,000 glasses. We have given more than 7,000 specialized appointments. We also have provided more than 35 eye checks. So our club since 1991 has started this program, which involves children below 12 years old. And so the new equipment is very easy to carry, is much faster. It can be charged with batteries. We don't need a power source, so we can get it anywhere. So thank you so much for your contribution.
Now it's my turn?
Yes, now, just a second, because I don't know. Now it's our Estela turn.
Good afternoon for everyone. I want to refer to Global Grant Ace of S, Waterford Salgar, sponsored by you as club. For a little over 2 years, we worked together with Peter Cherries, identifying the needs of the community. We had difficulties, especially with the issue of authorizations with the local authority. Although Rotary is not governed by political, religious, or gender issues, it is necessary to have the approval of local authorities and accept that at the end, they will be determined as a positive achievement of the period of management of the corresponding entity. Then, insisting on overcoming all local obstacles, we achieved an excellent presentation of the program to have the Oakland Club as an international sponsor and the contribution of Peter Cherries in the bridging. Both of them were essentials. We work with 8 schools located in different remote sites in the municipality of Salgar, the most distant being almost an hour away, located in the upper part of its mountains, and with access on dirt roads that are ground and stone floors. Most roads were open with machines going through the forest and bordering the mountain. Children and students in the selected schools were found with the same conditions. Many of them walk almost 2 hours away through forest areas with different dangers and sometimes with only a hot drink and a piece of bread as breakfast. Upon arriving at their schools with the hope of learning, they find facilities with very deteriorated sanitary conditions and without the possibility of consuming water that is at least safe for their health. Thanks to this support between you and us, we got around 400 children to have decent toilets, sinks separated from the basins to wash the rugs and boots, and most essential, safe water provision through filters for personal consumption and use in food preparation, because there the children have a snack and lunch. The project was so successful that the National Federation of Coffee Growers was linked, not only with the management of the project. They contributed money for improvement in addition to those proposed by our clubs. And the Salgar mayor's offices also made contributions money and with personnel assigned to the mayor office. Likewise, those responsible for continuing the sustainability of the project, both in maintaining the physical infrastructure, filters and water tanks, and continuing with the hygiene, sanitation, and safe water program, all participate and lose. It is not only improved in the bathroom, it is included with the additional contribution, the arrangement of ceiling, kitchen, electrical installations, some space for games, security of access, and painting. Today, we can see all the children, not necessarily students studying there, because with this COVID-19 it's difficult, they attend the school. But when they return, they will be really, really happy having classes there. Thank you for all of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Aura. It's so nice to see you. I really miss you guys at Medellin. If I could ask Sonia and Alberto to unshare their screen, please. And I'm so looking forward to being able to get back to see you. Sandeepa Nayak. I believe that we are now going to move from Colombia to India. And so, Dudley, if you could show Sandeepa's movie, Sonia and Alberto, we need you to unshare your screen and we'll move forward. Are you there, Sandeepa?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, here's the movie. All right, so let's skip the movie, Sandeepa. Let's go straight to you. You and Barbara have been doing something in the Tansa Valley. Okay, Sandeepa, tell us briefly, we're running behind, what you and Barbara are doing.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon, President Peter and fellow Rotarians. My name is Sandeepa and I am the part of Tansa Valley Project in the World Committee under the expert guidance and leadership of Barbara Beering. The global grant which you saw right now was for the fiscal year 2019-2020 was a great success in Tansa Valley. Tansa Valley has approximately 300,000 residents, and our grant aided to build 100 toilets, 200 soak pits, and 21 wells. We are now participating in the next phase and building on the success. We are now building 300 toilets. This is extremely meaningful to the women because of the safety and privacy, particularly at night. It is the necessary first step that also helps the land to remain clean for the water projects that lift the people out of poverty. Likewise, we are building 500 soak pits. The purpose of the soak pits again is to use gray water from the kitchen and bathroom to percolate back to the ground and also prevent water from sitting on the surface where it can eliminate the breeding grounds of mosquitoes near homes that reduce the risk of transmitting diseases such as malaria. For the initial grant, we built 3 wells, and after the monsoon season and successfully experimenting, whether we could use the well water to regrow the crop throughout the year, we are now going to complete the 21 wells that was earlier projected to be completed. 825 families have benefited from the $88,832 at a cost of $100 per family. So approximately we have changed together 6,000 people's lives. Our club contributed 6,666 to this project, and because of our contribution, we get it back as a district designated fund, which we can then use for global grants for meaningful work like this. Thank you so much, Oakland Rotarians, for all your generous contribution to help change the lives of these people. Thank you. Thank you, President Peter.
Oh, thank you, Sandeepa. I love that energy, and I know you're having an amazing, wonderful time traveling overseas, working with people and planning projects. It is one of the joys of being a member of this club and Rotary in general.
Thank you.
So let's see, who is next on the agenda? I believe it is Adriana. Do I have that right? Speaking of traveling and planning projects, Adriana, are you with us?
Yes, hello to everyone.
Adriana, I remember when Keith Giron and I met you at the project fair in Cartagena. That was a really great event.
Yes, it was. It was very nice, and it was
So
a very
tell us
lucky.
about. So tell us about El Carmelo, the aqueduct project.
Well, we already worked on that project, and we provided clean water to 550 people, 80 households. Now the community and the school has access to water, not only clean water, but water with good pressure and good quality. So we are now looking forward to continue working with other communities, because based on this experience, other communities have approached us, and they seem to be willing to work in the same water and sanitation service. So we're so happy to have this opportunity, and it is an ongoing project. I have to say that we haven't finished yet in terms of providing education. We need to continue educating people and families to know how to use the water and how to plant trees to keep protecting the environment. So this is what has been going on recently.
Well, Adriana, I can't wait to come back when it's safe to La Plata and see your fellow Rotarians, and start thinking about some of those other communities.
Yeah, well, we were scheduled to see you guys this year. At least I got to see Gudrun and John in January. So I'm happy for that, but you guys were scheduled to come, so we are willing to see you next
All right.
time.
Well, we'll definitely do it in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Ed Joan. I wanted to thank you, Ed, for all of the watching out you did for visitors this year. Do we have any today?
We have a wealth of visitors here with us today, and so we're very happy to have them. In the interest of time, we cannot introduce them all by name, but I certainly do want to extend our special welcome to our visitors from around Colombia. We have some past district governors with us. Welcome. We have some past and present and perhaps future club presidents with us, and other visitors who just want to be with us today. So welcome to you all. We love having visitors and guests. Thank you, President Peter.
Thank you. Thank you, Ed, for all of the work you did this year. All of the great projects we talked about just now were all made possible in part by the Rotary Foundation. Joe Baralka, thank you for being the Rotary Foundation chair this year. Tell us how we did, and please introduce some of the club members who made all this possible.
Well, thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter. Before I introduce today's fabulous speaker, I wanted to thank each of you for your commitment to service, a commitment to doing good in our community and in the world, and providing the resources to make a difference. This year, because of many of you, District 5170 was #1 in the world in total giving, and Oakland 3 is second in the district in the annual fund giving. So as a result of your loyal support of the Rotary Foundation, we've accumulated over 20 new and next level Paul Harris Fellow Awards to present members, which we will do over the next several months or so to honor each member for their generosity and commitment. But I would like to mention a few milestone awards now. Big deal. We have a new major donor, Alex Polson and his lovely wife, Eleanor. Please give them a shout out. Yay, Alex. Thank you and Eleanor for your continuous support for so many years. We will celebrate with the grand fanfare deserved when we're meeting in person again. And we have 3 new Paul Harris Fellows, Wendy Wilrich, Linda Bradford, and Teresa Wayland. Hey, Linda and Teresa might be on our meeting today. Thank you, Linda, and congratulations. Are you there?
Yes, I am, Linda.
Show us your award and tell us a little something about why you donate.
Wow, well, I want, very nice. And the certificate. Thank you so much, Joe, for dropping that off. I just want to say thank you for the recognition, even though it's really meaningless without the dedication that the Rotarians do to service, dedicating their time. And today's meeting was very inspirational, just hearing about the accomplishments that are happening all around. So that's about it. I'm happy to be a new member, and hopefully I can continue on and provide more service. But thank you for being there.
Thank you for your support. I think Teresa might be with us too. Teresa?
Yes, hi, I'm Teresa. I just want to say thank you so much. And the bottom line here is I've received more from Rotary than I've been able to give. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. And as a reminder, a Paul Harris Fellow is earned upon accumulating contributions of $1,000 and another level for each additional $1,000. A major donor is earned upon accumulating contributions of $10,000. Both are generally earned over many years, a dedicated, committed effort. So thank you. And thank you to all our members that contributed this year. The world is changing for the better because of Rotary and the Rotary Foundation. And during these times, we, Rotarians, are also fortunate to have each other. So I'm really extremely honored for our club to have Brenda Cressey as our speaker today. Brenda is the first woman chair of the Rotary Foundation, was chair in 2018, 2019. Brenda is currently a trustee of the Rotary Foundation, and of course, past president, past district governor, and many, 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 many more. Brenda and her husband Dick recently moved from the West Coast, outside of Paso Robles, California, to the East Coast, Wells, Maine, to be closer to family. Brenda and Dick are Arch Clump Society members, the highest Paul Harris donor level. Brenda has received all three of Rotary's highest honors: Service Above Self Award, Citation of Meritorious Service, and the Distinguished Service Award. But I think the best introduction I can, as an indication of how great Brenda must be, is if she's a friend of Carl's, she has to be a wonderful person. Please welcome Brenda. I think she knows a little bit about Rotary leadership and our Rotary Foundation.
Thank you so much, Joe. It's wonderful to be here today. And I have my comments ready and I don't even know where to begin. First of all, seeing the faces of these Rotarians, thanking your club for doing what you're doing to help them. That's what it's all about. It all started with Carl. When you said Carl, I started getting all teared up. But anyway, it's just such a pleasure to be here with all of you today. And thank you, President Paul, for your leadership Peter, I'm sorry, for your leadership this year and trying to get through the end of the year with this pandemic. I cannot even imagine, but your club is solid and it shows. So thank you for this very nice invitation, because it is my great pleasure to present some comments to you, an update, if you will, to the third Rotary Club in the world, the Rotary Club of Oakland. Your club in this district continues to take on a dynamic place in the world of Rotary, without a doubt. As you just heard from Joe, this year your district is #1 in the world of total giving, amazing. And your own club, #3 in your own district for annual giving. And we'll talk about that later, the importance of your gift to the Rotary Foundation each and every year, no matter how big or small. It all counts, it all matters. And we've had to make some decisions, tough decisions, because of the support that we're receiving is not able to keep up with all the grant writing, the wonderful grants that you're doing for so many great projects. But throughout all of this time over the years, many, many years, you have really and truly shown the world that you can truly make a difference. You've pursued innovative service projects and pushed to be more inclusive and diverse in your membership. You've embraced Rotaractors and Interactors as equal partners. And you've done this to make sure that our future will be as bright as your past. But today we all face new challenges, the coronavirus pandemic. And of course, here in the US, now throughout the world, the waves of social unrest that is happening. At this difficult time, the world needs Rotary more than ever. We need to bring people together. Rotary needs to help the most vulnerable, and Rotarians need each other. We need to stay connected, and we need to take action when it comes to COVID-19 and so many other things. We took action for the cause of public health long before COVID. And because of that experience, we are making a big difference today. We're finding ways to apply our knowledge and experience in fighting yet another disease, polio to COVID-19 response. The polio eradication program is already using the advanced disease eradication infrastructure that we have in place to protect the vulnerable from COVID-19, especially in polio endemic countries. And of course, as soon as it's safe to do so, the Global Polio Eradication Initiative will resume our polio immunization activities. Following the difficult decision to cease house-to-house vaccination campaigns, and we transitioned all of our workers and our resources to fight COVID-19. It is our moral imperative. This is a global pandemic. I couldn't be more proud to be a Rotarian than I am right now. Now, with regard to COVID, we are, as you know, people of action, people who create lasting change, as is said in our vision statement. We're equipped by the resources of our Rotary Foundation, and we're able to make a difference in thousands of people's lives and in thousands and thousands of communities around the world. Recently, our General Secretary, John Hugo, said something that was very deep and meaningful to me. He said, we, Rotary and Rotarians, are built for this. And we are built for this because we are all about service. We're all about helping others. The Rotary Foundation, the trustees recently took a lot of decisions in regards to grants and in regards to disaster response through our disaster response fund. And we are allowing, and we are being more flexible with our grants, with our district grants, with our disaster response grants. I learned today, this week, we've been on trustee meetings all week and ended our term for this year with our chair, Gary Wong, wonderful man. Incoming chair is Ravi Ravindran. But we had reports on how much we have spent so far on COVID-19 projects. Between global grants, disaster response grants, district grants, we have invested, and I will say invested, $20 million into COVID-19 activities. We've done this because we've heard from each of you, from people around the world who are really, really looking for some help, immediate help, long-term help. We don't know how long COVID is going to be with us, but I know how long Rotary will be there to support it. You have also taken action to fight COVID-19 by helping frontline health workers, hosting online meetings to discuss public health best practices, and even helping businesses during this COVID-19 era. You are also thinking seriously about the future, holding for the first time an online meeting with the first 5 Rotary clubs in the world, discussing ways to engage future Rotary members. But there's more we can do, right? As people of action, you have left a powerful legacy for every single generation since Rotary's founding. And I'm sure many of you want to ask what the future might look like to live with COVID-19. What will our future look like in 5 years? We had many of these discussions over this week at our trustee meetings. What will our fundraising look like? How will we do this? What will our membership look like? If we're service-minded, how do we continue to engage Rotarians, as we heard earlier? The #1 reason why people stay in Rotary, because of our service. Well, we've learned just now through COVID-19 and this pandemic that we do continue to serve, that we do continue to connect, and we can do this because we're built for it. So over the last few weeks, our membership and research teams of Rotary International looked very closely at the historical membership in Rotary and estimate how COVID virus might affect it, both in terms of membership and our fundraising. And I can tell you the results of the analysis really gave us reasons for cautious optimism. In the most dynamic historic fall of membership occurred during the Great Depression in 1932 and 33, when our membership fell by almost 10,000 members to 146,000. That was a drop back then of 5.6%, pretty significant. However, in most recent times, our memberships have been able to weather the storms, the turbulent events that we faced. For example, during the last recession in 2008 and 9, we actually grew by 1%. And during the European Union's debt crisis, our membership fell very low, just 0.4%. So in conclusion, when we saw the fall in membership between 2020 and 2024, even if we did, we have put in a plan in place to ensure that we still have the resources to support our core mission, helping our members take action to create lasting change across this globe. So of course, this is no time and no reason for complacency. Our finances and our membership numbers are affected by more than this pandemic, right? And there are long-term challenges to address, even if COVID-19 were contained swiftly. And of course, one of those long-term challenges will be membership. And I think the issue is closely tied to how we execute our mission, because ultimately, COVID-19 forces us to rethink the ways in which we connect and serve. In our surveys and focus groups and part of Rotary's strategic plan, we learned that our members thought we needed to become nimbler. You like that word, nimbler. More open to ideas and faces and better about capitalizing on changing technologies and trends. My goodness, if we ever decided to all of a sudden tomorrow say to the Rotary world, we're going to start meeting virtually. Hello, do we think that we could have done it? But we did. Overnight, we switched over to meeting virtually and having a really wonderful time and making the best use of our time, I might add. So this is an opportunity. It really is an opportunity to think creatively about how we do service projects in our own new reality, in which for the most of the world, mass gatherings are banned indefinitely, right? And we must think about involving our Rotaractors as equal partners in our service projects. And this will be especially important during this crisis. Our Rotaractors grew up in the digital era, and we must deploy their talents in finding new ways to connect despite social isolation. Now is the time to invite Rotaractors to help us shape our future, but we also need to focus on this member retention. 60% of our surveys thought that enhancing participant engagement was the most important priority, as I said. And the evidence backs this up. As we know, it's our newest members who are most prone to leave Rotary. Over the past 5 years, on average, our new members only stay with Rotary for 2 years. So it's really vital to engage new members in those early years to ensure that they find value in the Rotary experience, which draws them into a longer-term commitment. My goodness, I remember back when I first joined Rotary in 1989, and I sat there in the meeting and I was being introduced to members who had been in Rotary for 50 years. I mean, that was remarkable enough, but to hear that they had perfect attendance for 50 years, I couldn't believe it. And today, here I sit in front of you as a member of Rotary for 30 years. I cannot think of a better place for me to be than in this organization. It really and truly gives me great purpose, and I hope it does for you. We mustn't forget to include our outreach efforts to those clubs who are not meeting either online or in person. I hope you're helping other clubs, Peter. Try to find how you can help them and involve them. Even attending your meeting, it would be so wonderful for them to share in this experience. Some things we need to change permanently as we move forward. And I'm sure that you've found some creative new ways to connect and serve yourself. And we need to do that as we maintain our service in the post-COVID era. Some clubs may embrace a new blend of maybe both virtual and in-person meetings, and that would be great. In fact, my own Rotary Club plans to do that next week at the Step Down. But now at the very beginning, I mentioned to you the challenge of addressing the social unrest here in the United States and around the world, and the role that Rotary has to play in cultivating a more diverse and inclusive membership so that we really and truly reflect the communities in which we serve. One starting point is Rotary's diversity, equity, and inclusion policy statement. Perhaps you know we even have one, and perhaps not, but I encourage you to go online and read it. It pledges to cultivate a diverse, equitable, and inclusive culture in which people from unrepresented groups have greater opportunities to participate as members and leaders of this organization. Following this statement, Rotary has developed an action plan to support the goal of women in Rotary and in Rotary leadership positions. We're looking to have 30% of women in Rotary by June 2023, and I believe that we will achieve that. I would like to see the percentage just a bit higher though. I wonder why. But as you know, the board is considering further actions to support individuals overall from other unrepresented groups to take on leadership roles. It's important. We need to represent the world. We need to represent the changes that we need to make. In Barry Rassin's words, as he was club president, Rotary needs to make a transformational change. And today is the day. But ultimately, at its best, it is a crucible for grassroots change. Whether it's in Polio Plus or global grants, it takes one person, one Rotary member, one Rotaractor to make a real difference. It takes that one idea. So today, before sharing my own opinions on how Rotary can really build a more diverse and inclusive membership, I'd like to suggest that you let me know how you think we can change. What can we do to make this world better? How can we make that change starting right now, today? I think that President Peter might have my email. If he doesn't, it's easy. It's just rotarybrenda@gmail.com. So I look forward to hearing from you. But please, thank you. I really want to thank you for this opportunity to share some time with you. Thank you for your ongoing commitment to Rotary service, all these fantastic projects, and your incredible support to the Rotary Foundation over the years. We've made some great progress in the past, due in part to Oakland No. 3's sincere commitment to Rotary, the organization, and the foundation. Please join me too. I know President Peter will mention this to you, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how this virtual convention is going to work next week. I'm very excited about it because I think it can be a learning tool for all of our clubs and all of our Rotarians. Thank you so much. It's just been a pleasure. Thank you.
Brenda, thank you so much. I wanted you to know that this year we chartered a Oakland Community Rotaract, and I am meeting with them Friday afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, because they have some ideas about things that we as an organization in combination with them can do to assist through this the problems we're having, not only with COVID, but also with the difficulties with our policies regarding equity. Our club actually also released a statement that was quite powerful, and so we're on board with that, and we have changes to make. We need to begin to focus not just on the philanthropy that we do, but also need to focus on making sure that our society is truly beneficial to all. So thank you for your presentation.
You're welcome.
I do have a few questions. Are you willing to answer them, Brenda?
Of course.
Great. So one comes from a former, if I can find it, a former post-district governor. And then the question is, why the changes in the matching to cash in global grants?
Oh, that's a good question. I've been getting a lot of phone calls and emails on that one. Well, I want you to know that it wasn't a decision that was made on the fly. It was really well thought. We have actually been looking at several options, at least 10 or 15 even, different options on how to preserve the integrity of our World Fund. And this was coming from the Finance Committee, who kept looking at that finite pot of World Fund money decreasing because of the increase of global grants. We have increased our global grant activity over 33% in just the last 3 years, but very much increased it since we went to the grant model. But anyway, this seemed to be one of the areas that we could look at to preserve the World Fund, because if you think about it, the World Fund is created because of our gifts to the annual fund. Half of that money returns to the district as district designated funds. The other half is invested and put into the World Fund. When a donor makes a gift to a grant, none of that money is supporting the World Fund, but it is in fact taking money out of the World Fund. So there isn't an investment in that gift other than the wonderful project that they're supporting. So this seemed like the most, it would be probably the most contentious one, because we have a lot of people supporting grants, and we need to have those cash gifts to support the grants, but we didn't have any choice. The fact is that we already had to shut down grants for the rest of this Rotary year. We have no more money to support the grants. We have a budget, we need to preserve it. And next year, we're going into the year with a lot of grants sitting and being rolled over. So we're going to have another hard time. And why is that? It's because we're not making our goal each year for the annual fund to support the grant activity. That was a long answer to a very short question, but I think it was an important to help you understand why, the reason why. Thank you.
Thank you. You mentioned that Rotary has set a goal for 30% woman leadership. I think it was by 2023, if my note corrects me.
Right.
So do you expect to see a woman Rotary International president before 2023? We had our first woman president over 20 years ago.
I know. I was Rotary governor 20 years ago, and I was the first lady governor in my district. And I cannot tell you how many people kept saying to me, "Oh, you'll be the first president of Rotary." And here I am 20 years later, and we still do not have one. I can't say if we're going to, we'll have a president, a lady president by 2023. No one can. It would be nice to think that we could, and we certainly have many qualified women at this point who would serve us well. And perhaps by 2023, 2025, we'll get there. We have wonderful people who are both men and women who will serve the organization well. And it's all by a nomination and by experience, I think. We'll see it.
All right. Well, I can tell you that from the 50% of women in my club, they would really like to see it happen. So let's see, were there any other questions? I don't think so. I think that pretty much does it. So Brenda, thank you very much.
You're
so
welcome.
we honor all of our speakers by donating to the End Polio Now plan. We have been working on this since 1987, and we are this close. And we fully buy into the Rotary Foundation's effort to eradicate, for only the second time in world history, a disease that can be so devastating. So we will make that donation in your honor, Brenda, and thank you very much again.
Thank you so much. I just wanted you to know that we are very close to reaching our polio goal this year. As you know, Rotary needs to raise 50 million to receive the full 100 million from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And just a couple of weeks ago, we were 15 million away from that target. And today, because of you and because of clubs around the world who feel the same way about polio, we're 8 million. 8 million away. I think we're going to do it. Thank you so much. That's special.
So Brenda, do you have a speaking slot at the Rotary International Virtual Convention?
I have just a very quick thank you video. That's it.
All right.
That's it.
Well,
Thank you.
I enjoyed seeing you at last year's Rotary Convention and the cruise after. And for any member of our club who's ever wanted to attend a Rotary International Convention but never had the time or money, this year is the year. This weekend, the convention is being held virtually. And unlike the in-person conventions, I've been to 2, you can get into any session you want. The speakers are generally first class and probably worth getting up early for, and certainly to watch by video later. So I sent out this morning the link to sign up on an email to the club members, and Pat Williams has posted it into chat, or will post it into chat. So you can sign up and enjoy the benefits of the Rotary Convention, International Convention. So I'm going to come to Jack Isles. We have something, Jack, that you need to tell us as you've been monitoring our chat.
Yeah, we've got some more exciting news. A lot of good stuff today. Joe, a little round of applause. He made a sizable donation, $1,000. He's donating $250 4 times in honor of Jean, Carl, Frank, and Brenda. So Joe, thank you so much for that. And then we also had 7 bell ringers today. Fred rang the bell, Karen, Robert, Daniel, and Keith. And Fred Morris, he rang the bell 3 times today. So I don't know if anyone has a little bell, but go ahead and give that a ring.
Oh, I do have a bell. Here we go. So for all of those bell ringers, here you go. That's my home body bell. And for those who don't know, a bell ringer at the Rotary Club of Oakland is a $100 donation to our Oakland Rotary Endowment, and we use about 15 to 18% of that money ends up going to international projects. So thank you very much to the bell ringers. Sonia Fitz, you are going to introduce the July 9th meeting, I believe.
Yeah, our speaker, hello everybody, for July 9th is going to be Michael McAfee, who's president and CEO of PolicyLink. As many of you know, PolicyLink is a national research and action institute advancing racial and economic equity, something that's incredibly relevant in Oakland and the entire world right now. Michael will be kicking off a special series of Rotary Talks on homelessness under the direction of our incoming president, Seth, to be scheduled throughout the year. Michael will share wisdom he's gained from working on multiple sides of the issue: housing and community development, philanthropy, and also public policy. He'll help launch this series with a deeper understanding of inequity, why it's so hard to solve complex problems like homelessness, and what we can do. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I agree, so am I. Ms. Gudrun Dibdahl, I understand that something is happening next week. Can you tell us about it, please?
There, now I can unmute and tell you about it. You're in for a surprise. President Peter, Rotarians and guests, next week you are in for a treat. It's the final meeting of the 2019-2020 Rotary year. And this special meeting is a club tradition to assist the current president in making that big transition from president to past president. The past presidents of the club take full charge of this meeting, and we take that responsibility very seriously. This year presented an especially big challenge for the PPs. How do we shift from an in-person demotion to an outstanding virtual event? Throughout the year, we collected data, very important data. This spring, we began meeting, planning, rehearsing behind closed doors, actually on our computers, to prepare for the big day, the day when President Peter will join the ranks of the Oakland Rotary Club past presidents, the 111th past president. Next Thursday, we promise recognition of the accomplishments of President Peter's year. You will see him receive his past president gifts, and we will have some fun. Mark your calendar. Don't miss this historic once-in-a-lifetime event, the first ever Oakland Rotary Club virtual Zoom webinar demotion of President Peter, the 111th president of Oakland Rotary Club, number 3. See you next Thursday.
Well, thank you, Gudrun. I promise you I am going to be there, hell or high water.
Bravo. We can't wait.
So I want to thank all participants. Thank you, Brenda, again for coming. And I loved seeing our friends and fellows and colleagues and workers from Colombia. I hope that over the last year or so, our meetings have given you a deeper understanding of the vision of Rotary to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. I also hope we demonstrated to you how the Rotary Club of Oakland acts to make that vision a reality. Rotarians, friends, and family, you should be proud of this club and the place each of you have in its success. Until next week, this meeting of the Rotary Club of Oakland is adjourned.